We're about to get this underway. Best of 5. Here we go.
Oh, and right off the bat, you're going to see JNaps taking it up early. And I think for both of these teams, the standout question is, will Torment be able to just step into this G2 roster? And of course, with the skill, the experience across all three players, I'm absolutely sure that it's just going to be some top-tier North American Rocket League.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Torment not as quick to the ball there. You see Space Station is really about trying to get these interceptions early, disrupting the flow of the game for G2 and establish an early dominance here by being so aggressive early on here. That can lead to dangerous counterattacks if they're not careful, but this is the top, the creme de la creme of the NA scene, so you know that they're going to be prepared for just about anything.
Yeah, JNaps even just going for that defensive backboard touch as LJ ready already. Chicago with a nice quick clear, but we're already seeing Space Station just trying to play really tight around the backboard as Arsenal's up, knocked down, sent clear by JNaps up to Chicago. An attempted counterattack with this first minute. Feels like just a lot of pings against the backboard and a little more Space Station control than G2.
Yeah, Space Station's loving that G2 backboard here, but here comes an opportunity for G2 to try to put some pressure on the backline here for Space Station. Something we haven't seen yet as we are at 3:45 into this one. A nice shot from JNaps and a fantastic save from Arsenal. This is what we came here to see, folks.
Oh, and I love that idea from Chicago coming across, trying to get the demo, but Arsenal, well, to stay away from it, staying underneath, is now Hoxer a little bit of space. Chicago a little slow, and Arsenal cutting these points off, but JNaps a little quicker, and that's first blood for G2.
Yeah, beautiful play from the back here. Look at Torment. I mean, this is a veteran move right here from the corner. Finds his man in the middle of the field, and he gets up there first. JNaps, fantastic shot, puts G2 with the first strike.
And that's got to be a huge confidence boost going into this matchup, and already Space Station on the back foot. Torment coming across. Where did he come from over top?
I'll tell you where he came from. He came from 2015 there, right? It's all that years of experience coming in and absolutely showing Hoxer. Hoxer, you know, clearly his junior by many years, you have to imagine, but certainly able to come in and just shows, hey, I might be one of the veterans of this group here, but I still got, you know, this old dog sure knows a few tricks, and watch this. Yeah,
and I mentioned at the start of this game, there might be some questions around Torment, and he's been involved in both goals, really the difference maker on both of these goals, as certainly stepping into the G2 rotation very, very well, and already beating Hoxer once again. And G2, they're starting to speed up on this Space Station squad.
Yeah, and certainly it's been a joy to watch Torment still showing, able to shine. And LJ, though, with a great pass from Arsenal, cuts that lead back to just one now. And now you can see Space Station there trying to change that narrative of this game halfway through it.
Yeah, that's just a couple of beats back and forth, avoiding that first man. Some great individual play from Arsenal, and the finish from LJ on the open net. Not much more that you can ask for, especially when given that kind of an opportunity where G2 just a little bit scattered, but also just lending itself to Space Station wanting to play close, wanting to have these tighter passes. And G2, from what we've seen, looking a little more comfortable on the long balls.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if there was maybe a missed defensive assignment there. I know Chicago isn't known for his defense there, so that might be, if he's on that third man rotation there, that might be the space that they want to exploit. And there is another goal here. LJ with another one.
And just watching this back, Hoxer gets the takeaway, and Chicago can't quite get around to LJ. Very well done, as we're all tied up, and I think this is what we expected. We've had less than 3 minutes. We've already got 4 goals, and it's anyone's game.
Yeah, this is a great offensive fire show here. I mean, it's the first match of the day, and here comes another one. Arsenal, that franchise player, putting the team on his back and finding that one off a brilliant, double tap off the backboard there from LJ.
Got one from the ceiling, couple off the backboard, and G2 just unable to find those reads, and LJ opening the door. Space Station find their first lead of the game.
We'll see if they can handle that lead there, because playing with the lead, it's a very different mindset there, and you have to use some a little bit different tactic there than when you're trying to chase that game.
Oh, indeed. And now we'll see if that style changes, or if LJ almost able to just cut across, break JNaps' axles in just a second. Now this is going to be another continuation from Hoxer. Pop out to Arsenal, slows the ball down. again, these contests looking a little more frantic from G2.
Yeah, and this game so far has been played very cleanly so far. You haven't seen too many demos or very many bumps. You saw that bump off by JNaps there earlier when LJ was looking very dangerous, but so far the passing has been pretty clean, and it's mostly been 50-50 challenges here, so neither team really using that demo mentality in their arsenal, but Torment's the one that comes up to tie the game!
And the difference maker all game, Chicago with a little pop-up and Torment. What a read on the game, just seeing that everyone was a little too far away from that bottom left corner. We got a minute 22 to go. Normally, you'd say this could be golden goal territory, but with the way this game has just continued to ramp up, it feels like we can see 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal looking for that ceiling touch there. Well defended by Torment, who is so savvy defensively there. I think that's why they chose him as a sub, partially because he's just so known being solid defensively there, and it helps cover some of those weaknesses in the games of someone like Chicago, potentially.
Yeah, I think so. And also Torment's ability, that experience, means that he can keep up with the mechanical expectations of filling in for Atomic's shoes. And now, once again, just barely beat away, but JNaps is here. JNaps loses the contest, and Chicago's still not back as Space Station take another in 37 seconds.
Yeah, that demo was key there as it forces Torment to put into an awkward position. Can't cover the entire goal when you're that far away from it there, and Chicago not able to, again, it was that 2v3 situation there, and Space Station exploited it perfectly, you know, using that power play to their advantage.
Oh, and now Hoxer has some space, looks for the stuff down, and oh my word, Hoxer picks it up, knocks us down, and Space Station take another in 5.
Yeah, look at this synergy right here from Hoxer, just drops it in there, and you see LJ looking to try to secure that. That's a good team mentality there, looking for that cleanup on aisle goal, but ultimately it's a 2-goal lead, 37 seconds left here in game number 1. G2, they may be taking an L in game 1 here if things stay the same.
Yeah, I certainly think so, as Torment having to make an awkward tap back, and Chicago just trying to race upfield. But it feels like Chicago being too far forward, trying to play for that counterattack, has given so many of these opportunities straight over to Space Station as we've got just 15 seconds to go. But Torment sees an opening, the bump can't happen, and it's sent away by Arsenal before JNaps can recover. It's still dangerous, and it's still sent away as the final 5 seconds tick down, and Space Station bring it back.
Ooh, and the cherry on top there from Arsenal. Just to put it in there for game number 1, it is secured by a 3-goal margin at this point. It was already theirs for the taking, but now just that little extra there, put their little stamp of authority there with that goal explosion, says, hey, we're here to say we're here for the money for sure, and definitely we're here to make a statement saying there's a reason we got invited, and G2, they got invited too, but right now, Space Station, that synergy, it waited for a minute there, but it came up with strong force.
Yeah, and the questions for G2 were around Torment, who's been the standout player so far in this game, and gotta wonder if Chicago's maybe just getting a little caught off guard, trying to play a little bit too far forward, and Space Station are starting to take advantage of that. You see them crossing, playing opposite side to Chicago, and just abusing those little moments in rotation.
Yeah, and you see, you know, Chicago is there, but JNaps, you know, you see he had that goal there, but it was just one of those things where it felt like he wasn't impacting the game nearly as much as I thought he should. Kind of like because I assume that I view him as sort of like the captain of G2 there. He's the one that is kind of like the anchor that rallies everyone around him there. And the knapsack wasn't necessarily open there in game number 1, but I think that this is an opportunity here. They're going to see what they learned from game number 1 and apply it here in game number 2, because I usually find game number 2 very rarely looks the same as game number 1 here, so it could be a big defensive battle coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of boom ball at the start, and it seems that's where G2 was finding their success in those longer clears, not having to play really tight, and then when Space Station was able to shift that game plan, they were able to just coast ahead. I mean, we had 3-3 with a minute 22 on the clock, and we ended things off 6-3 with a buzzer beater from Space Station. That's just a statement of how strong they were in that final half to quarter of the game.
Yeah, so now all the pressure right now on how G2 can respond here. Chicago off target that time, but trying to send it out to Torment. But it's really deep in that corner of Space Station, and if they're not careful there, you cannot get sucked into those corners there, because that can lead to some really dangerous counterattack opportunities.
Yeah, it was a risky moment. I saw Arsenal going for the left corner boost and trying to play for the counterattack and almost getting caught off by Torment. Works out for him this time, but not sure if that'll be the case next time. As Chicago on the counterattack, looks for the shot right off the post. JNap's there for the response, but it's saved away. Once again, G2 slowed down, but they're looking a lot better in this opening minute.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Torment just very steady right now, just not trying to get too creative and not taking too many risks there, just being very solid with his every single touch there. It's got purpose there, and even the bumps, just trying to set up plays for his teammates there. I'm really loving the kind of communication that's happening here on the G2 side of the ball as they are chasing this series right now.
Oh, and Arsenal was just sitting, waiting, and fortunate for JNaps, I think that was a golden opportunity to maybe just slice it right past the rotating defense as LJ slowed down as well. Minute and a half come and gone. We're still scoreless, and Arsenal looks to change that, saved away by Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago had to make that save there as Torment got his axles handed to him there by Arsenal on the dribble. That was deadly. Now LJ gonna take it from one side all the way up to midfield there before finally stopped by JNaps with that air dribble there. Man, Space Station, get them in the air, and they just look so dangerous compared to Chicago and the rest of G2.
Oh, and what an extension from post to post. Hoxer with one beat, LJ with the second. And G2 just, a quarter second behind in rotation twice, and that's enough. Space Station cracked their way forward.
The opening salvo here, 3 minutes into this one, left to go in this one here. JNap's looking for an early response there, well met in the air by Space Station as Arsenal trying to continue creating chances here for his team and creating pressure on the blue side of the field.
This is good from Space Station if they want to keep this lead going, if they want to make a statement. Of course, with this matchup, there's still lots of Rocket League to play. G2 still has plenty of time and opportunities to come back, but you have to know that the rest of the field is looking at this matchup to see who's the stylist, and right now, Chicago styling on the Space Station backboard.
Oh my goodness. What a play here off the backboard. Got the flip reset off the ceiling as well. That has got to be an incredible goal there for Chicago to answer the questions that were being asked by Space Station.
We'll say, though, it took quite the solo play, and that kind of statement getting past one twice, that's what gave Space Station their first goals, what gave J2 this one. Now Torment stepping up, and JT, this looks like another extension back, and Hoxer reads it well.
Wow, what a pass that was there from LJ. Find his brother on the wall there and just launches that into the back of the net. The speed, the pace on that thing, and the angle cannot be beat there. Space Station up 2-1 now.
And that's one strategy that you'll see sometimes coming out of Koi in this bracket is they'll try to take these longer extended in-air crosses off their transition, and we saw one right there executed perfectly by Space Station, and now just speed from Arsenal as Space Station sending themselves forward.
Yeah, this is a great break right here from Arsenal. He's got 3 around him there. He's able to maneuver around every single one of them to put them in the back of the net. JNap's trying to do that shadow defense there, but it doesn't matter when Arsenal has the ball on top of his hood.
Oh man, and Arsenal has just had so many very subtle standout moments so far as miscommunication between Chicago and Torment is both going for that one. JNap's ready to receive, but you can already see just a little bit more of that confusion coming out of the G2 camp. They haven't looked all that impressive offensively from besides that opening goal, and now Chicago a chance to get another as it's saved for just a second, shut down by Torment. Just as I speak it, G2 take a goal in their own hands.
Yeah, but they're still chasing this game. A good play here from Chicago. Really forced that one there, and Torment, it's a clean up an aisle goal, mop and bucket, as easy as you like here at the pro level. And this is now a very close game, minute 37 left to go. Man, this is such an exciting one here.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what G2 needed to really get their mindsets back in. A team goal, some cleanup from Torment, some mechanics from Chicago, and just that confidence coming through from all three. We're already seeing a bit of a stare down on the side wall. And it's quickly shifted away as LJ's got to be careful here as Hoxer bails him out.
Yeah, and this is definitely kind of what we were hoping to see here as far as an opening salvo between these two teams here on this fun Sunday, getting drawn together. This is what we're hoping to see. A lot of fireworks, a lot of, high-level play here, and they are certainly delivering here.
They are. I think one of the most competitive matches. Looking at the teams that were here, you'd expect this to maybe be your final and not a round one, but that is just the beauty and the difficulty of the draw. You never know who you're going to be running into. Seeding doesn't matter, as it all just comes down to whether or not Jamesbot puts your name in, or if he draws an extra Dark Zero or Zero Gravity. And now Torment trying to break it on out. Still G2, they got 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, 30 seconds here for a pro team. Let's see what they can do with that time. Of course, Space Station, not a pushover either in clutch situations. In fact, they've usually pulled out ahead, at least according to game number 1. But so now it's all up to JNAPS and G2. Can they find a way to break this one? Tie it up here. Final 10 seconds inside Arsenal. It's going to be to Hoxer to delay this game out as long as possible. Can they find an equalizer here?
Oh, JNAPS was up. He was trying to keep it going. Chicago's there. LJ knocks it down, and Hoxer takes an extra one for the road. Back-to-back buzzer beaters as Space Station solidifies their lead. 2-0 up.
Yeah, Space Station here. Again, like I said, they're so clutch in those final few seconds there, and it just shows right here that we got a bunch of clutch guys there, and 0-second goals. That is kind of the bread and butter right now for Space Station. They've done it 2 games in a row there. And, we see a little bit from Chicago more from this is a great breakout game here from Chicago, where it kind of looked like he was a little bit off the pace there in game number 1, but now came back strong, really kept G2 into it for as long as possible.
Yeah, I will definitely say Chicago creating the space for both of those goals, and unfortunately just couldn't quite find enough. But Space Station, I mean, wacky stat, right? Games 1 and 2, they finished with a buzzer beater to secure double their opponent's goals.
I mean, like, it's a statement, right?
Yeah, it really is a statement, just saying, hey, we are going to have double what you got. We are going to just own this last minute of play. And when you're trying to keep it up to survive, we're going to send it back to your own post instead. And we've seen a lot of moments where Space Station just take it from post to post, and G2 not quite ready on those rotations.
No, and again, we have to remember, of course, that G2 is playing with a sub, so that could be some of that, synergy there, whether it is just, not playing together, despite Torment being a veteran of this scene there, been a pro since as long as I can remember, and it's just an incredible thing. But we do have Atomic here on the field, so Torment subbed out, Atomic in now. This is the top G2 team. This changes things, folks.
Oh, this does. The sub for the sub, as G2 at full strength on the field, not wanting to say goodbye to this tournament, not wanting to go down against Space Station, as they're going to have to get the reverse sweep to make it happen. But Atomic is ready. He's got that extra strength. He's all rested up and warmed up. And Chicago trying to cut across, and LJ going to be the one a little bit dangerous as he takes it over to Arsenal.
Yeah, so this definitely changes things. Obviously, it is the crux of the match. If you win Game 3, you are more likely to win the entire series. For Space Station, that would mean winning it in a sweep there. But G2, they need this to stay alive. That's a dangerous shot there from Arsenal. Went off the post. It is very lucky that for G2 that they did not give that one up.
Oh, very, very scary. Couple moments where we're seeing these cuts from Atomic coming across Chicago, as now here's another chance. Pass up, sent away by Hoxer. Now Atomic actually ruining LJ's day. And this is some of the physicality we weren't seeing with Torment, and might be the missing puzzle piece.
Yeah, so I love seeing Atomic there getting physical. That's what I love to see, just getting in your face, really smash mouth kind of Sakar there. Chicago gets into the corner here, works with Atomic to try to create something, but JNAPS not able to secure anything as LJ's in his face with Arsenal leading there. And LJ and Arsenal, I gotta say, not to lean too much into this Twitter controversy there, but I do appreciate them using the SSG, livery on their cars in this match.
Yeah, it is always cool to sort of see them wearing, I guess, their liveries is, I think, is a good way to put it, where you can really see their team. Their representation is another double commit on the backboard. Hasn't led to a goal quite yet for G2, But there's still a chance as, oh, Chicago nearly sending it in. Atomic for the cut, and Hoxer's there for the 50. Very dicey stuff for Space Station as LJ saves the other.
Yeah, Arsenal just a little not as quick to that challenge there, as Atomic has really kind of changed the dynamic of this playing here. But here comes Hoxer. It's a dangerous situation here for SSG. The shot off target as JNaps is able to clear it out here. Here comes Atomic working with JNaps to send it upfield there to work against the defense of SSG.
Atomic knew he couldn't get to the ball, but could get to the player. Fortunate for G2, there was no one to immediately respond. As we're reaching around the 2-minute marker, and this is certainly the lowest scoring game we've seen so far. And now JNaps up to Chicago, trying to get the quick transition, but Space Station already in the air.
Yeah, and I think it's just the whereas Torment was a little bit more, stick to his fundamentals. He's a big fundamental guy, and is able to work that so well. Atomic is just all about being aggro, aggressive, in your face, not allowing you any space, and that really changes things for Space Station, as they now have to change their entire playstyle to cope with that.
Exactly. They've been playing a lot tighter, I think, and now Atomic taking those fights to them that much earlier than Torment was, and not worrying about these longer passes where Torment was adept at getting these interceptions. Instead, keeping it up front, Atomic disrupts that. Now, where's the transition for Space Station to crack through the defense, but also for G2? Where's the offensive impact? As right now it's a demo to open the door.
Yeah, and this is a beautiful shot here from LJ there, as you see just the chaos from Arsenal, that demo, and Atomic sees it, but he's not able to get there in time. And they were able to use that space, that confusion of that demo there. But again, Atomic has to step up for his team here. That's why he brought him here. He has that information in those other two games. So that's something that Space Station doesn't necessarily have, is that sort of information to kind of take a step back and see the patterns that were forming there.
Yeah, and that was a good look for Atomic, nearly getting the dunk down, this time sending it to the center, and there just hasn't been a chance. Almost an empty net, and Atomic finishes the job as it bounces off the post. A Lady Luck smiling on G2 in this final minute.
Yeah, tied up here. 60 seconds left to go here. Atomic puts it home off a beautiful pass from JNaps, who just opened the defense, and it seemed like it was a very, casual kind of pass there. I'm kind of surprised they weren't able to get to that one.
Yeah, I think that LJ expected it to be on target, went for the save on the shot, and there was no one ready, as JNaps can't get the save off the bicycle kick. And I need a replay on this one.
Yeah, beautiful here. LJ just working with Arsenal there. The demo just very tight. Like you said, they like playing tight up front there, and LJ and Arsenal just playing very, very tightly there, not giving each other much space because they don't need it. They have that chemistry.
Exactly, picking the ball off of the other. Now JNaps trying to weave his way through too. Instead, this might just mean that LJ is the only one back for a little bit. JNaps tries to cut it across. Atomic's here, and it's sandwiched between LJ and Atomic. And Space Station scared for a second, and now once again straight back onto offense as Hoxer has to watch. There's nobody back. We're tied up again.
Oh, what a lovely counterattack opportunity there. They thought they had a chance because Chicago had no boost at the middle of the field there, but then JNaps comes swerving in like an eagle and just takes him out and says, America!
Flies forward, takes the open opportunity, and Chicago and LJ both a little awkward. A little bit of car found for LJ on that one, and Atomic, that was dangerous for just a moment. G2 nearly losing the tie they just found for themselves. This might be our first overtime as Atomic steps in. 10 seconds to go. There's an opportunity. Chicago is up. We've seen buzzer beaters every single game so far, and this would be quite the time for another as Chicago's up, sends it to Atomic, knocks it down, and we've got OT.
I think the funny thing about me saying, America Eagle for JNaps, he is Canadian.
He is Canadian.
So, yeah, I just figured, want to clarify that for everybody, that, he was just feeling the American spirit there, as depicted by Chicago.
Indeed. Chicago's up, Atomic crosses, and a quick counterattack was certainly one way to end this OT, but I think both teams realize how much is on the line. For Space Station, it's that confidence in getting rid of, I think, who they were really afraid of beating in the finals. Instead, being able to take them out in the first round would give them quite the confidence moving forward. And for G2, it could be the start of a long road as Atomic is here. Atomic gets the bump. Chicago gets the finish. And we're going to game 4.
Oh, what a beautiful bump here. I thought Atomic was going to just take this all the way home. But no, he says, nah, just get out of here, Hoxer. And then Chicago, I needed that touch there. Otherwise, would have hit the bar. So wise decision there. I mean, you always want to make sure you're following up anytime you see a loose ball in front of the net, slam it on home. And that's exactly what happens to force us to game number 4.
And the question mark going into the series was Torment. And now that Atomic subbing in has made a statement, most points in the lobby, most saves for G2. I mean, just tied with LJ for second most shots in the lobby, just making a statement already in his first game up. And now for the rest of this series, Space Station got to be on alert.
Yeah, this is a great substitution here from G2. I mean, if there's ever a time, Game 3 can backfire at times there, but this is a great opportunity here where they have Atomic, they have that synergy that they know so well between each other, and it worked out well here. Now you just have to replicate and duplicate that, right? Because now you have Game 4. Your life is still on the line here in the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a LAN-winning team right now on the pitch with G2's current roster, and you've got Space Station's near tournament-winning team getting second in that regional, facing off these two just top talents of North America, charging in the draw number 4. We're going to have to say goodbye to one of them at the end of this series, and I hope it's on Champions Field as we're starting up game number 4.
Man, the LAN near winning team, just twisting the knife a little bit there for all the SSG fans out in the chat.
Not quite able to win a tournament with this roster yet. They're getting close. They've looked stronger every single time. And Boston was a disappointment. And I know that all that they need to get back to their winning ways is, again, those wins to start racking up. As Arsenal with some confidence, with some speed, with a send over to Hoxer. And it's Space Station scoring first.
Yeah, beautiful pass here, just using JNaps to his advantage there. Atomic there. That pass is supposed to go to Chicago, and Hawks are able to pop it off and put it in the back of the net there. That's what's so dangerous about playing those back passes right in front of your own goal. It leads to opportunities like that.
Oh, and here's a chance. Atomic instead sends it to the corner, looks for the cross, doesn't quite find the shot, as it's going to be JNaps. Keeping it dangerous. Miss from Hoxer, demo up, and we're tied up once again. Shave off 38 seconds, and it's just a 0-0.
Yeah, so we're almost at 4:20 left to go in this one, and a beautiful pass here. The demo from JNaps, you love to see it there. I'm love seeing this physicality coming out from G2 here. Hopefully that means that we're just all demos all the time, and then we just have fireworks all over the pitch.
I'm here for that, and I think there's going to be fireworks for whoever comes out on top of this one. And of course, they've still got the rest of the tournament. And fireworks for Hoxer just in celebration of that save, keeping it out of the net. Now JNaps, a big miss. LJ can't quite get there, and now it's Atomic. You've got to be on the watch for. No reset, no problem for Arsenal.
Yeah, that was a smart move by LJ. Knew he didn't have the angle on the defensive front in front of him, so swerved off of there so he could quickly recalibrate, get back on defense there. So that stays at 1 apiece here. But man, both teams able to react here. You're starting to see now that quick reaction, and Atomic putting it back on his shoulders there. Another goal for G2.
Oh, and just look at this team play. 3 touches, 3 players, and a second goal on the board.
Those 1-2-3 combos there, it's one of my favorite things to see in Rocket League, when you see every single player on your team touch the ball before it goes to the back of the net. As JNaps here on the ball, working it into the midfield there. Chicago keeping it alive here for G2. They have the control. JNaps looking for the bumps on the back end there, but demo on Atomic in the back end for LJ. Again, both teams trying to stretch out these defenses here, try to find spaces and creating spaces for their teammates to try to find that equalizer here in the case of SSG. Now LJ working it out to midfield here. He's got Arsenal. Those two love working so in tandem up top there. Chicago has to make that stop, and Hoxer, that third man, looking for the danger here. Arsenal dropping in, but Atomic, no, JNaps will find it there for the quick save. Now Chicago, he gets it past 2, and that is 3 now for G2 Esports. Beautiful shot that time. And ultimately, a great goal here for G2 Esports as they now have a 2-goal lead here. 2:45 still to play here. Hoxer and LJ, they know they got to find something here to get Space Station back into this game number 4. They still have game 5 to play with here. That's the fun about being on match point. So we'll see if they are able to capitalize.
0 in the series. Now they're down 3-1. For 4, G2 with Atomic stepping in are just ramping their way forward, and that momentum continuing to build bit by bit. Especially as Space Station getting a little scared, and we can see 4 members racing back, including a pair of Space Station members. Now there's a chance right here.
Yeah, JNAP's there trying to defend it with Chicago. Got past LJ there, but here comes Hoxer, excuse me. Working it up, keeping that pressure high here for Space Station as they are continuing to pepper the backboard here, looking for answers. But right now, they're just met by the defensive wall of a G2 in vain.
Shot after shot coming across the corners. Some solo attempts, lots of pings that were working out in the start of the day, and not quite. Now is Chicago going to send this one out with a quick pinch in 1:30 to go. We've seen Space Station score twice with this amount of time, but certainly not since Atomic has stepped in. And certainly not in this game number 4 here on Forbidden Temple.
What a pass that was for LJ, and they're back inside this one here with this beautiful pass here. Look at Hoxer just finds his teammate there, drops it down, drew out Chicago, and Atomic can't react to it.
I'm just going to stop making statements about whether or not a team's hot or not when it comes to their, tournament life potentially being on the line. Is I spoke once G2 started to score in last game. Speak here against Space Station, and they bring it back within 1 as LJ almost gets a clearance past Chicago. Instead, it's going to be Hoxer winning this 50. JNAP's a little slow, but Arsenal not quite able to respond back around. And LJ, this is dangerous. Arsenal with the miss, a bump away, and you never see just a ball bouncing around for that long in a pro match, but crazy things happen here in the draw as we've got 45 to go.
Yeah, it's a little bit like you. No, I'm not gonna go get it. I'm on defense. No, you go get it. All right, fine. I'll go get it. It's a little bit of that Three Stooges going on there.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh. No analysis to be had. Just we could all feel how that could have been the tying moment for Space Station, and now it's sent to the other side. 20 seconds to go, and SSG got to try and build themselves an opportunity here, but with LJ last back, just having to send it laterally for some time. Looks like these seconds tick down. We could be heading to Champs Field unless there's one final drive. JNAP sends it to the side. Hoxer has control. We've seen so many buzzer beaters. Here's another chance, and LJ takes it to OT.
They wanted to give us the ultimate drama here on the B stream, and that is exactly what is delivered here in Game 4. We are going to a golden goal situation.
Oh my goodness. And Space Station battling back from being down by 2. Hoxer with a little space, but for G2, they managed to get Atomic back in. They had to call in the emergency sub because Atomic's AC broke, and now he was able to get to a location he could get the games going. And we can see the impact of just having a little cool air, but it might not be enough as Hoxer seals the deal and Space Station move on.
Beautiful setup here. It's just very clear across the face of goal there, and JNAP's just not able to respond to it there. Space Station game, set, match.